And once again, welcome to Mesilla Valley Sports Podcast. We are live on the patio at the Amador Live Eatery and Entertainment District. We are just outside of the Broken Spoke. And as usual, it's a very interesting evening, although partly cloudy, I would say. Maybe mostly cloudy because there are a bunch of clouds in the sky. But the winds are picking up, as you can tell. And it is going to be a rather blustery couple of days for the next couple of days. So watch out for that one. But let's go over a few bits of sports action that happened over this last week and this last weekend. I believe Las Cruces High's Alyssa Cedillo and Centennial's Ty Barker defended their state wrestling championships at the Rio Rancho Events Center over the weekend. Barker is a three-time state champion, winning in the 145-pound championship. And after winning back-to-back titles at 138, Barker defeated Atrisco Heritage's Tatum Garcia 5-3 in the final to finish his season 33-3. Yeah. And after placing very impressive. You hear our guest, but I'll get to that soon. After placing second in the as an eighth grader, Cedillo has won back-to-back state titles. She beat Rio Rancho's Elena Cordova 11-3 in the 100-pound final to finish her season 42-2. Mayfield's Valeria Garcia Aguirre won the 126-pound title, pinning Goddard's Autumn Cockrell in the final. So a couple of wrestling championships coming back to the Valley here, which is really nice. And MSU softball had their opening weekend at home, and although they were dropped their first three games of the I-135 tournament. Okay, so they were out of town this past weekend, but they had after starting off with back-to-back wins, including with a 4-out shutout on Sunday versus Texas State. The Aggies will return to Las Cruces next weekend for the annual Troy Cox Classic, so they will be here this weekend. They will continue to battle against number 5 Oklahoma State, Nebraska, Creighton, and New Mexico, and CSU. Bakersfield will be coming into the NM State softball complex, and I believe they've got a doubleheader on Friday starting at 4:30. And after falling on Friday and Saturday, NM State looked to pick up their first win of their season. They were the ones who were opening up at home this weekend against Bellamy Sunday afternoon, and although they did go extra innings, they went 11 innings, they dropped that one 10-9. So they're starting off at 0-3 right now, but they are headed to the Sugarland Classic this weekend in Sugarland, Texas, and they will battle Lamar, Northwestern State, Seton Hall, and of course they're going to be doing so at the home of the Sugarland Space Cowboys. That's going to be pretty cool there. And something that a lot of people were curious as to what was going to happen. Austin Trout, of course, we know that he is a great boxer, but he was fighting in the Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship, and he made his debut on Friday in Albuquerque in a matchup between New Mexico Combat Sports legends, as it was Trout and, of course, mixed martial artist veteran Albuquerque native Diego Sanchez going out each other at Tingley on the co-main event, and Austin Trout just dominated that one, getting the win at Knucklemania 3.
Destroyed him.
Destroyed him. You know, there was some questions as to how he was going to do with bare knuckles as opposed to getting the gloves on there.
Right.
But I think a boxer going up against an MMA guy, they're going to win every time in the ring right there.
Yeah, you'd think every time that, there's no MMA, there was no grappling allowed in that matchup. I'm just going to come in now. So
yeah, just come in now.
I'm just going to come in. Yeah.
Let us welcome Ed Carnathan, of course. He's coming in, and Ed's been around sports for years, and of course, working at the CBD. Right?
My whole life, Gina.
Your whole life.
My whole life is revolved around sports. Mm-hmm. My whole life, from when I was a kid up till now,
and and a little bit of it in sports entertainment.
And sports entertainment.
Maybe we'll bring that up a little bit later.
Yeah, maybe we can talk about that later. But yeah, Austin absolutely destroyed Diego the Nightmare Sanchez up in Albuquerque. And cool story, if I could, real quick.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I messaged Austin and I told him, "Congrats, champ, on the big win tonight. Congratulations." And then the next day, I woke up and I thought, they had 9,000 some odd people in the Tingley Coliseum for this event.
Yeah.
Why can't we have 9,000 people inside the Pan Am Center?
I believe
for another event.
I believe that we can have more.
I believe we could have more as well.
We have a whole lot more.
Little secret I'm going to put out. Hopefully this week I'm going to talk with the owners of Bare Knuckle Boxing and see if we can strike some conversations up.
Well, I think, between Las Cruces and El Paso and the surrounding areas, at 9,000, easy. I think we can get that one easy.
Especially if we have Austin on the card or some local connections. And If Oz is going to fight for the title, then he's going to fight for the title in Las Cruces.
That's right. We got to give him,
Right.
give him home territory for that one for
Right.
sure. And of course, this past weekend they also had the NBA All-Star Game, and Team Giannis won that one, 184 to 175.
Oh.
As always in the NBA All-Star Games, not a lot of defense going on in those games. There's no defense whatsoever. I think maybe somebody looked at the ball hoping to use telekinesis to try and get some defense in there, but Giannis did win, and that was actually, like I said, those games are fun to go ahead and watch and everything. So,
yeah. All-Star games are always a good time to watch.
Although, hello, my friends. We got a couple of
we got some birds coming
we
in.
got some birds.
Yeah.
Okay, as long as they don't hit to the fans above us, then we'll be
all right.
okay,
We'll be
because
okay.
they might be sitting up there. But All-Star games are a lot of good fun. Although didn't get a chance to talk to you after the NFL Pro Bowl weekend. Not really sure that new format. I just wasn't quite sure of that, because to me, and I said I was talking with Max about it that week, and I dated myself very much, because to me it seemed a little bit Battle of the Network Stars.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. See, somebody actually got the reference.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. So, and if you don't know what that is, look it up on YouTube. They've got a couple episodes right there.
Eric Estrada taking on somebody. I can remember
It was,
watching
back then, when there were only 3 networks, they were friendly to each other, and different stars from different shows would actually compete on one of the networks.
Obstacle course, swimming. They did
Swimming.
all kinds of events.
Actually, my favorite, I brought it up back then, was the Simon Says.
Simon Says.
When they get that professional Simon Says guy and just takes them out left and right, and that was my personal favorite. Although not a grueling sporting event, lots of fun to watch.
Lots of fun to watch. Yeah.
Lots of fun to watch. But they really did have a few athletes and stuff like that. But it was a lot of fun. I think that ran from the mid-70s to early 80s. So, but to me, that's what the Pro Bowl seemed like to me, with a lot of those games and stuff going on.
You know what? I didn't even watch, because I knew they were switching it to flag football, and I was like, it's why?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah. Because to me, when you get to an All-Star game, you want a lot of the best players showing off their stuff, which is basically what the NBA does. They just show off a little bit right there. And to get, a flag football thing, well, not quite as exciting. And I understand why they did that. And that's basically for safety.
Yeah.
You don't want
no need for somebody to get hurt in an All-Star game.
Yeah. Especially it's the very last game they're playing for the season, when a lot of these Pro Bowlers are there. Yeah. And next thing you know, they get an injury that could affect them on the next season. Yeah. So, got to protect your players, got to protect the cash coming in. I'm just saying that. Could be about money.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
So, like I said, our guest this evening, and we've got a few of them. Hopefully, we've got a lineup here. But we're starting off with Ed Carnathan, and it's been a while since you've been on. You were in here in the fall. How did your fall go? I know you had several events that went up there.
Everything sports. Coming out of, like I said before, coming out of COVID, sports was really the first thing to step up and want to get things going again, right? So we came right out of COVID, and we had some. Obviously, our outdoor events were first. And still the outdoor events are dominating the indoor events.
Absolutely.
But baseball, softball, that's our bread and butter. It'll always be our bread and butter in Las Cruces. We have great fields here in Las Cruces that are all located at one spot on Hadley Avenue, and we have some great events. So, the fall went well. The Enchilada tournament happened, one of our largest events that we have each and every year. And we maxed out on teams again. It was about 264, 265, somewhere in there.
Yeah, that's when those games are going till like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning.
It's goodness. All day and all night.
Yeah, pretty much.
The rain hit us this year, and we had to change the format. But the tournament finished, and it was successful once again. So a great event.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, the one thing nice that's good about Las Cruces, the weather allows you to actually bring in events pretty much year round.
Yeah.
I mean, we have our moments for some of the outdoor events where the rain might creep up on you, and a few others, but that, it's, I hate to be cliche about saying that New Mexico weather changes every couple hours or something like that, but about an hour ago, it wasn't quite so windy.
Right, and it's a little bit windy right now, Gino.
Yeah, it's coming in, and I think we're expecting some big blustery days.
I'm glad the heaters are on, I'll tell you that.
Well, I am too. At first, I wasn't sure if they were going to be too close right now, but that's just the perfect distance for that.
Right distance, and
and
definitely this wind is chilly.
And if you turn to your right, you get that sunset coming down.
Oh, yeah, sunset, beautiful.
Yeah. So like I said, the weather really lends itself to bringing in a lot of those events right here. And then, of course, some of the indoor events that you have with some of our venues we have, like Las Cruces Convention Center and others, really allow you to bring in some other stuff here.
Oh, absolutely. The convention center, we've held boxing, cage fighting, MMA. We've had wrestling in the convention center before. We've had grappling tournaments, wrestling tournaments,
martial arts,
judo. We've had all kinds of great events inside the convention center. I'd love to have basketball and volleyball in there as well, but it's not big enough for that.
There's a little bit of a height restriction on that one.
And we don't have enough floor space to put down. Usually with volleyball and basketball, you got to have 10 to 11 courts to be able to pull something off. And we can only fit, I don't know, probably 3, 4, 5, maybe 5 courts total.
Maybe. I think you're pushing it with 5 on there because you got to have people come in and watch the game.
Right. You got to have spectator seating as well. And that's tough to do right now. But it's we have the high school gyms that we use, activity center on campus at New Mexico State. That's a great place to have basketball and volleyball and some indoor events as well.
Yeah. We had Michelle Mason on last week for of course, she helps out with the activity center and the aquatic center.
The aquatic center, on campus. Great lady. She helps out quite a bit when we have the Senior Olympics in town. Yeah, which we'll have again in June.
Pardon me. Next week, just to give you a little tease, we are going to have some people from the Senior Olympics come on, we're going to be talking about the Senior Olympics and some of the games coming up because.
The Doniana games.
Yeah,
they got to have their local qualifier here, and then those people can move on to the state championship.
And they have got a ton of different events. You talk about a variety of events, and one of the things that. Because I've been interviewing a lot of the managers for a lot of the events for the past few weeks, and we're going to start airing those a little bit later on this week and next week because we do have several events coming up that they got to make sure that they're registered for.
Right.
But everything from swimming events, running events, shuffleboard, you've got table tennis,
biking
is in there, washes,
cornhole, horseshoes, ping pong.
I mean, the whole thing, like, there's got to be something that you would be interested in. And the only thing that disturbed me about it is you have to be 50 years old.
We're old enough to
qualify for the Senior Olympics now. Yeah. I never thought I'd see that.
We are.
Yeah, when I first met you like 20 years ago. Oh, to be young again. Anyway, so that was one of those things that. So we're going to have a couple of guests that are in for the Senior Olympics next week, and we'll be talking a lot about their events right here. But right now, I mean, what do you got coming up here with the CPD?
Well, in January, if I could talk, just
we can go
hit the rewind button real quick. But we had our first annual. Hopefully, it's annual. It's the State 47 Las Cruces Marathon, which included the marathon distance, which is 26.2 miles. The half marathon distance was 13.1, and then we had a 10K and a 5K in the kids run. So last year we just had the half marathon, and we've always wanted to bring the full marathon back because we haven't had a full marathon here in Las Cruces in quite a few years.
Yeah.
So the first year that we had it, we had 111 participants. This last one in January, we had over 400 participating. So that was a great event. We have a great race director.
Yeah, what was the course that you would run to get that marathon in town?
Well, we use the start and finish at the football stadium, the FOD, Field of Dreams. And then we use the running path that the city has out.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
You jump on the running path, you run along the river for the full marathon distance. Once you get to Cayo Norte, the half marathon turns around and goes back. But if you're doing the full marathon distance, then you would go up the Snow Road. And you're running all the way down Snow Road, almost all the way to the highway.
Wow.
Turn around and come back. So that was our first year this year, and it was a Boston qualifier.
Oh, nice.
So if you get a certain time within your age group, you could qualify to be eligible for the Boston Marathon. So that's why we wanted to do it. And we had, I think, 44 states represented at this last one. 44 different states. Plus, we had some participants from Mexico that were here. And just people from all over. It was great. We're going to have it again. It'll happen the first Saturday in January of 2024. So we'll have that going on. That'll be a great event. And we'll have that once again. Hopefully, it becomes an annual thing where we have it each and every first weekend in January.
That is awesome, and once again, like I said, the idea that you're running a marathon in January,
Right.
when most places are pretty much snowed in,
Right.
or anything else like that.
Yeah, we had people from Chicago down, and you asked them, hey, would you be running in Chicago right now? No.
No. Well, I had the opportunity to travel up with the Aggies for the bowl game.
Right.
Yeah, and it was pretty cold up in Detroit, and that was just, I think, a week or 2 weeks before you ran your race. So
yeah, it was great. It was a little chilly in the morning, but once you get
once the body warms up,
once the sun comes up, it warms it up right away. It was perfect weather to run.
Yeah. I used to date a cross country runner, and she always said that when it's nice and cool in the morning, it's the best time to run because your body warms up and it keeps you cool, so you can really get your pace and start going on through there. So the runners like the cooler temperatures when they're starting off in the morning.
Yeah, but usually our sports season in the winter, winter spring will start in March. So we're right there.
You're right here.
Yeah, we're going to start with esports. We've talked about esports on this
program.
program.
About esports,
and MSU is going to have their esports competition. It's going to be the 3rd, 4th, and 5th.
Okay.
Of March.
Do we know what we're competing in for those?
New Mexico State University, and they have. We're going to be doing. Oh man, you would put me on the spot and say, Ed, what video games are we playing?
Well, I'm just wondering.
Right? No, sure. And I had him on the. I was thinking about it. The soccer game with the cars. What's that called?
Soccer game with cars.
Rocket League. Thank you.
Rocket League. That's a fun one.
I have a phone a friend sitting here. By the way.
That's good.
He's the esports coach from Centennial, and he's going to be. We're going to be doing racquetball. We're going to be doing
Rocket League.
Not racquetball, Ed. Come on.
No, Rocket League.
Rocket League. We're also doing Super Smash Brothers.
That's a good one.
Right, that's a good one. And then League of Legends, I think. Right, League of Legends.
Wow. Okay.
And a couple others. But there's also going to be chess. They're also going to have a chess event.
Okay.
A live chess event, not an esports chess event, but it'll be just a chess tournament that's going along with it as well. So it's going to be great. It's going to be at Corbett Center, and again, the 4th of March.
4th of March. That's Saturday.
That's Saturday. And it's going to be at Corbett Center, and we're going to have all kinds of teams here from outside the area, high school teams, college teams, 2nd annual NMSU Esports Invitational. It's going to be great.
I'll have to see if I'm right in that university area. I'll have to see if I can check that out. Is it just Saturday, or is it running multiple days?
It's mostly going to be just Saturday. I think we may run into Sunday if we need to, depending on the amount of participants. The first year we had 250, just shy of 250. This year we're expecting between 400 and 450. So it has expanded. It'll get a little bigger, and hopefully every year, right? We get a little bigger.
Every year you get a little bit bigger,
a little brighter, and hopefully it keeps going.
And next thing you know, you're running the entire floor of the Pan Am Center at an esports event.
Yeah, we wanted to be
awesome.
Yeah, when I sat down with NMSU Esports 2 years ago, whenever it was, and I told them what I wanted to see. They had the same vision. We want to have the biggest and baddest esports tournament in the Southwest. When people think of esports in the Southwest, they're not going to think of Phoenix. They're not going to think of Tucson. They're not going to think of Albuquerque. They're going to think about Las Cruces.
Absolutely. So the esports tournament, that's going to be coming up on March 4th. I'm really curious about that one. What else we got coming up?
Well, Las Cruces Public Schools will have their annual baseball and softball tournaments that usually happen in the spring. That'll be the next weekend, the March 9th through the 11th, and then the baseball will be the 10th through the 11th. 8 teams in the baseball tournament, 16 teams in the softball tournament. And those will be high schools from all over the place, all over the Southwest. And that'll get going. And, of course, our Super NIT. Well, before I get to that, we can't forget the Bataan Memorial March.
Oh yeah, that's right. Bataan's going to be coming up.
Bataan's going to be the 19th
of March
on a Sunday. And talked with them not too long ago, and we'll probably have about 5,000-6,000 participants.
It's a big event.
Yep. Hopefully, right before COVID hit, we were hitting 10,000. With that event. So hopefully it'll get back up again. I know it will. I know it'll get back up to the big numbers again. 5,000-6,000 is nothing to sneeze at.
Yeah, that's good attendance.
But it's a good event, and it brings in a lot of people. And then we'll have one of our first big youth baseball tournaments of the year.
Mhm.
And that will be the 24th, 25th, and 26th. That's going to be the USSSA Bataan Memorial Death March Super NIT.
Wow.
And that's an event that we've been running now for, I think it's almost close to 15 years.
Wow.
It was, when we first brought it on, I think we had 40 some odd teams that were in it.
Mm-hmm.
And before COVID hit, we were up to 150, 160.
Wow.
So,
well, I hear that caveat, but like before COVID, we had better numbers. And that's one of the things that I think all the sports leagues are having to go ahead and bring back, that attendance back, get the participants back. Something that was also mentioned with the Senior Olympics about getting all the seniors to go back and participate. But they
were down. The seniors were down. I want to say 50% participation.
Yeah,
but
they were down.
It was really close to that, but I'm sure it'll be even more this year as well. I think as we get further away, not that we're losing COVID at any time. It's still there. It's going to be around, and it's still.
Well, I'll put it this way.
Around, but
viruses do what viruses do, and believe it or not, we still have cases of the Spanish flu that come around.
Right.
They just call it a slightly different name. And so it'll just be hopefully one of these things that gets fairly benign, where you might be down for a couple of days as we go on. And I'm just saying that because that's just what nature does. And you kind of feel it a little bit already as we're on that, edge where it's kind of trailing off a little bit. But, there's always the next thing that's come around. Don't want to freak people out, but there's always the next thing that's come around.
Sure.
Hopefully we can deal with it because that's what we do.
Right.
We deal with it, right?
Also, this weekend, forgot, we're still in February. Ed. March is a couple weeks away.
Yeah, we're still in February.
We're still in February. We have a soccer tournament.
Oh, okay.
Cobra Soccer out of El Paso. They do a great job running events, and they'll have their spring tournament, and it'll be this weekend, probably 100, 150 teams.
Wow.
Somewhere in there. But youth from very young all the way through high school age kids, middle school age kids. It should be a great event.
And that'll probably be at the soccer complex.
Yeah, soccer complex, high noon. They'll be using that. They'll be using PVD, Preventio Van Dam on Hadley Avenue. They'll have some fields set up over there. Burn Lake, they'll be using Burn Lake as well. So,
nice to see Burn Lake come back to be used a little bit more.
Yeah. It's great to see kids out playing and having fun.
Oh, yeah.
That's what they should be doing, right?
Absolutely. Oops, hit the wrong one there. Okay. So I like pushing all the buttons, and it's so much fun. It reminds me of being at work. So we got, that's actually a lot of events, a lot of teams that are going to be coming in. And so if anybody ever wonders what traffic is doing, like what is going on, you can blame Ed because, he set the whole thing up.
What are all these uniformed kids doing in all the restaurants?
Yeah,
we're trying to get a table to eat, and there's all these kids in here with these uniforms on. You can blame it on me.
Completely and totally, Ed will take the blame for that.
It's not 100% me, but you know what I mean. Lots of kids in all these teams. They come to town from outside and they bring money, right?
And I was just about to say that is, your job is bringing these teams, bringing it in here to make it so that all of our restaurants, our hotels, all of our places that they can go for tourism are going to be busy and taken up. So people that maybe not have ever been in the Southwest, and you can see a lot of those uniforms at the hotels, at the restaurants, probably down in Mesilla, or walking around visiting some of the places. The mall,
hanging out at the mall.
For some reason, the mall is just such an awesome place to visit for a lot of these kids, but that's just the way it goes. And that is a great economic boon. And honestly, Ed, you do a great job of bringing all of
Thank you, Gino. I appreciate it. And it's just not all me. We have great partners. To be able to bring in esports, you got to have a great local esport partner. And of course, that's New Mexico State, and that's all the high schools, the high schools with their esports teams. And we couldn't do it unless they were on board and wanted to participate and wanted to be a part of it. Soccer, obviously, you got to have a great local league. Softball, baseball, you got to have a great local presence to be able to pull these things off. Yeah. And we have some great partners.
And a lot of the facilities, so the city maintaining a lot of these facilities that you're going to be playing at.
Our parks crew with the city of Las Cruces, I will put them up against anybody in the Southwest.
Yeah.
They do a tremendous job on keeping everything lit and nice and lined and all that stuff, and we couldn't do it without them either.
They do a great killer job.
Tremendous.
As much work as they get for some of the tournaments that come into town, man. You're surprised that some of the fields look the way that they do sometimes. But yeah, they do a great job. And so what else we got coming up on there?
Well, we're working on a couple of other things
Ooh,
too.
secrets.
Some secrets. I guess I could spill the beans a little bit
And
see.
Oops.
Yeah, oops. All right, so dock diving. You know what that is?
No.
Dock diving.
Oh, dock diving.
Dock
Okay,
diving.
I thought so. It's not the hurt hunt for a new
No.
practitioner.
No.
No. Okay, dock diving.
Doc, you're not throwing a doctor into a pool.
Okay,
That's not it.
that's a shame. There's a few of them.
You'd like to, right?
Maybe.
So the dogs. There's all kinds of events for dogs. Agility, and there's dock diving, of course,
Dock diving.
where we have a dock, long runway,
Mm-hmm.
where they throw the ball into the pool, and the docks jump off the
the
dock into the pool to catch the ball or the toy or whatever it is, and they're measured for distance.
Yeah.
So right now we're working on a regional event through North American Diving Dogs for August.
Wow.
It's not 100% yet, but I'm crossing my fingers.
Where would you hold that one? Would that be
Burn Lake.
Lake? That's what I was thinking.
Yep.
That would be the one place to go ahead.
We'll
and do
set up the pool in the dock in the parking lot. We have a brand new dog park there that they can
That's
use.
true. Yeah, that would just
plenty of parking. We can put vendors on the soccer fields, have them set up there. But that's one of the events that we're working on right now.
That would be a lot of fun because I've seen.
This is something cool. I'm going to tell you.
Okay.
So we have a pool, right?
Yeah.
Take a guess at how many gallons is needed for the pool. Take a guess.
Take a guess.
Yeah.
I'd say 50,000.
Almost.
Almost.
A little over 28,000 gallons of water
28,000.
to fill up the pool. So we'd have to have. We're trying to figure that out right now too. Probably a fire hose on a fire hydrant and run the fire hose all the way in, or we're going to have to use a truck, fill it up, and then bring it in. But that's one of the hurdles you have to overcome, right? So we're trying to figure that out right now.
That's a big pull. But the dogs will love it.
Yeah, dogs will love it. People love it. I'm sure we'll have some information out about it, and you can just keep your ear to the wind, and I'm sure.
You know what? That'll be during our fall season, so we'll probably have you come in and talk about that a little bit more as well. New
Mexico Games.
Okay.
New Mexico Games is a national organization or a state organization for the National Congress of State Games.
Okay.
So they're kind of like Senior Olympics, right? They have a national, they have a state competition, and all that stuff. So we're going to have a bunch of state championships. We've had judo here. We started in 2019 with the state judo championship. We had it in 2021 back again. And now we're going to have 3 events with the New Mexico State Games, New Mexico Games. So we're going to have judo once again.
Cool.
That's going to be at Oregon Mountain High School in June. We're going to have the state championship of cornhole.
Oh.
And that's going to be here. We're finalizing where we're going to put that right now. And then our third event is going to be karate.
Okay.
And Eli Guzman, a good friend, he has stepped up for us. He's going to run the event. Most likely it's going to be held at the mall. And we're going to have the state karate championship here through New Mexico Games. So there's 2 new events that'll be in Las Cruces for the first time, the cornhole and the karate, bringing the judo back once again. And then before we went on the air, we talked a little chess, Gino.
Yes, that's right.
We've had our teams go up through the high school division, the middle school division this past weekend. Elementary school state championship will be this weekend in Albuquerque. Right now, we're trying to place a bid to have all 3 of those here next year. So all in one weekend. See, normally they do it high school one weekend, middle school the following weekend, and then elementary school the following weekend.
Yeah.
If we have it here, we're looking at the convention center. We're looking at some other facilities as well. We want to have it all in one weekend.
That'll be good.
All 3 of the divisions here. It'll bring quite a bit of people to town, families, teams, and we're going to have hopefully the state chess championship here through the NMAA in 2024.
Yeah, in fact, didn't you just finish up a tournament recently?
We had a chess through the United States Chess Association. Will, who's a coach for the high school and middle school, Will Barella. Yeah. You know Will.
Yeah.
And Endgame Chess is his company. And we held an event that we had at the Holiday Inn Express North. We had a tournament over a weekend of chess, first time in a long time having a big chess event here, and it went really well. We had a ton of chess players here, both from Las Cruces and out of town. And I can't remember what time of year we had that. It was in October.
It was supposed to be in the fall. I know that because you were, of course, one of our first guests when we started up in the fall again with the Mesilla Valley Sports podcast.
Yeah, we had that event. It turned out great. Hopefully, we're going to have it again this year. Right now, we're concentrating on the NMAA event, trying to get that here. Then probably after we secure that event, and then we'll have we'll move on to the other one and try to figure that out.
Well, that just tells me that we got to have you on a little bit more often to keep us updated with other stuff, because you got so many things that are coming down the line. And if we've got big tournaments or anything else coming up, then we want to make sure that everybody knows about it, because one of the things that blows my mind is we have so many different sports activities and games and different things that are going on right here, and trying to keep up with it all is a little bit crazy. So if you can just tune in here every week, then we can keep you up to date with that.
Do you mind if I plug my podcast too?
Yes, absolutely.
I'm going to plug my podcast on your podcast.
You can plug your podcast on my podcast.
Okay.
And then I'll run by your window when you're doing your podcast. That's going to be fine.
And then we'll plug your podcast on my podcast.
Yeah,
we'll get it going.
We can do Inception podcast.
Well, you can hear the Visit Las Cruces Live podcast on most of the podcast apps, all the major ones. And then, of course, we have them on our website as well at visitlascruces.com.
I'm glad you mentioned that one, because I had the website pulled up right here so that everybody could see.
And there's right there you have Mira, and that is going to be
the homepage there. So
that's going to be a huge event for April, and we are going to have some fun with the Mira. We're going to have lots of Las Cruces flavor, whether it be music, dance, food, drinks, beers, wine. It's all going to be Las Cruces based. It's all going to be about Las Cruces. We're going to have it downtown on the Plaza de Las Cruces. It's going to be a great event. Go and check it out. Go to visitlascruces.com for more information.
Absolutely. And just in general, we talk about on air where, you guys, we do a little thing with the radio station, but we talk about just enjoying what we have here in Southern New Mexico. One of the first places to go would be, your Visit Las Cruces website, so that you can just find all the different activities, events, the different places that you should go, because there is so much. Nothing annoys me more than hearing people say, there's nothing to do. No, we can't do that. Or we can't have these sporting events here because there's nothing for the people to do. I say
hogwash.
Hogwash. That's a good one. I was going to say something else.
Well, yeah.
Hogwash works a lot better when you're looking into the camera right there.
Right.
But yeah, absolutely. It is hogwash. There's plenty to do. There's so many different things to do. I mean, even if you're just talking eating and restaurants to visit here in Las Cruces, you've got plenty that you can sample in all the different places that you can go for some great food. And then the history that's here in town, a lot of that stuff that's going on here. So hiking, absolutely.
We have great hiking trails here in Las Cruces. You can see all that information too on the website. You can, like you said, restaurant information. We have that on the website. Check it out. It's just not for visitors. It's for local people as well. If you want to, we're not going to say no. Come on in. Come on by the office at 336 South Main, right next door to the Amador. And we have lots of information on things to do on different spots in the state as well. We have information on Roswell and Alamogordo, Taos and Albuquerque. We have plenty of information on things to do. Come on by, or just go to the website, visitlascruces.com.
Yeah. And it just popped in my head when we talk about even the historic nature of this town being so close to downtown and everything else, that when you go to Mesilla, you can you get the Billy the Kid type of history over there. And let us not forget, we're not too far away from where Sheriff Pat Garrett is actually buried, because he was the sheriff of Doñana County, and there's a lot of that history up there as well. So
Rio Grande Theater is going to do a Billy the Kid festival, I think.
That'll be good.
Coming up. And they're going to show some movies. There's going to be a play, I think. And there's also some other Billy the Kid related stuff.
I'll have to check to see what their schedule like is movies, because if they're showing like Young Guns or something like that, I would love to see that in the movie theaters again. Great movie.
Yeah, Young Guns is like one of those movies you can recite the lines by heart.
Absolutely, absolutely. So it,
Right.
but how historically accurate is it? How historically accurate is Avatar? I don't know.
Right.
I don't know, but it's one of those things. So, but it is a great film, and that would be
Right.
a good part of that. And I'm sure they'll have other actual
Right.
documentaries.
And Max here at the Amador Live, he's trying to have more and more events all the time.
Oh, well, speaking of events at the Amador Live,
Yeah.
you going to be here for St. Patrick's Day?
I very well might be. I've been asked if I would like to participate.
Oh, no.
So I don't know yet.
Are we going to have the return?
Well, I hope. I'm too old, man.
Oh, come on.
I'm 52.
Guest referee.
Maybe guest referee, something like
Guest
that.
announcer.
Right. Am I going to have to put somebody over?
Maybe. I don't know.
Right.
Well, wait. You're the local guy, so
yeah,
you got to get the job done.
All the Biggie style supplies are in a bag in the garage right now.
Would you be able to fit into your spandex?
Into my spandex? I don't know.
You don't know.
Well, they're spandex. They're stretchy, right?
They're stretchy, yeah. But
right?
sometimes, the stretchy look on. I'm not going to leave that out. A stretchy look on our physique.
People might pay me to leave. They
to leave. Like,
please get out of here.
Put something on.
Cover up, man.
And
Cover up.
I just say that because for those that don't know, Big E Styles here actually did some
he was
professional wrestling.
Did the wrestling.
He did the wrestling back in the day, and it was fun.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun.
I was trained in the Guerrero family ring by Eddie Guerrero's best friend, Hector Rincon, and I learned my trade on how to be a wrestler. And then I was one of the I was one of the biggest bad guys El Paso ever had.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm telling you.
There's no shame in that. There's no shame in being that.
People love to boo me. People love to throw stuff at me. Call me names in Spanish. It happens.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a few that they were throwing out there. We might have heard a few of them when the last AEW event was in El Paso. I'm pretty sure that, and they didn't bleep any of those because they didn't know.
Yeah. One of my old buddies got I don't know if it was a tryout. Maybe it was a tryout.
He was a tryout.
Aiden Colt. I worked with them for many, many years. He had a match on the Dark, the AEW Dark.
Yeah.
He had a match. I'm
That's
excited,
their YouTube
excited to see that, to see him in the ring. I'm sure he did a great job. I wasn't able to go that night, but
Yeah, I had some prior engagements. We were doing our big game giveaway that night as well. But it's nice to see some of those events even coming by right here. It's nice to see because there was supposed to be a show up north with AEW just before COVID hit, and that was one of the shows that they had canceled right when that was right when that was starting 3 years ago. Just about that.
Maybe we'll get him here someday.
Yeah, maybe I'd like that. And of course, the reason we ended up going into professional wrestling is because right here on the grass, right in the middle of the grass, right here at the Amador, they're going to have midget warrior wrestling coming in for St. Patrick's Day. They did it last year, and honestly, it was so much fun. It was
a great show.
Yeah, I can't.
It was a great.
Were you here?
Great. I wasn't here, but I heard. Yeah, it was great family entertainment. You could bring the kids out and have a good time and watch the show. It's a safe show to watch.
It is. Well, if you're in the front row, I don't know. A few guys out there. No, it is a safe show. It is a fun show.
Family entertainment.
Family entertainment at its best. It is just something that is really cool. And when you look out here onto the grass and out here on the patio here at the Amador, if you can imagine it, the ring fits perfectly in the center in that grassy area. They had tables and chairs and stuff all over that. Now, I didn't see any ladders, but they had tables and chairs all set up around the ring. I was stuck up in the back over there, actually handling the merch stand for the wrestlers because they had to wrestle and they needed some help. So I got behind there and
that was great.
I was selling people luchador masks and the whole thing and T-shirts and everything. So it was a whole lot of fun.
So last year when they were the day of, early in the morning, they set up the ring.
Yeah.
So my office is right over in the corner there. So I could look out my window and see them setting up the ring. And then once they were done setting up the ring, I snuck down.
Oh, did you?
And I took a couple of bumps? I took a couple of bumps, and I was hitting the ropes. I did some 3/4 rolls out of the corner. And
that's when you realized it.
And I remember why I stopped.
Yeah. But, and I'll say this. Obviously, you're a wrestling fan. I'm a wrestling fan.
Right.
A lot of people talk about now wrestling ain't real. I'm going to tell you something.
No, I'll tell
the
you
bumps, the athleticism, everything is real. the outcomes may be predetermined,
Right.
but they are really real. And
I knew every time if I was going to win or lose.
Yeah, exactly.
And I admit that. I'm not going to not say that didn't happen. It did. And you set things up beforehand. You call stuff in the ring. Whoever you're working with, depending on how they like to do it. Some guys like to list everything out.
Yeah.
On a notebook and write everything down. Or the way I like to do it is you set up 2 or 3 things, high spots,
yeah.
right? And you set those up, and then the rest of it is improvised. I like doing it that way.
You like calling it in the ring? Yeah.
Calling it in the ring. If you're working with somebody that knows what they're doing, it's easy to,
Yeah, it is. Like I know how to do that. No, I don't, but I do probably follow more of the behind the scenes stuff and everything else these days than I do anything else. But since we are slipping into a wrestling mode, Joey's going to be jealous that he wasn't here right now because I'm sure he'd like that. Yeah. We just had one of the biggest moments in professional wrestling this past weekend. I don't know if you watched the Elimination Chamber show. Mm-hmm. Did you watch that?
I did.
I won't even say the culmination because the story's not over.
No, it's not over yet.
Not over yet. But what do you think of this whole bloodline storyline? It's got to be one of the best things in wrestling in decades. Easy.
It's the best story they've told in a long time. Mm-hmm. In a long time. And it's a long, drawn-out story that started, and it's just not a 3-week thing, a month thing, and it's over. This has been going on almost for a year.
It's over a year because when Roman Reigns won the titles, that's where he basically started.
Right. Well, Sami Zayn lost to Johnny Knoxville at WrestleMania last year. That was last year. Right?
That was last year.
So it started after the WrestleMania.
This particular one, that started off. The whole bloodline storyline started when he became champion, and then with Jimmy and Jay, and that whole thing, which was very compelling in itself. But then when Sami came in after he lost to Johnny Knoxville, which was a very entertaining match as well.
No, it was great.
It was a great match. But he lost, and he was despondent, and he wanted the respect, and he thought he could get in. And
I tell you what, he's got his respect back for sure. Those guys have told a story like no other.
Absolutely.
And it's all of them. It's the Usos, it's Roman Reigns, it's Solo Sikoa, it's Sami Zayn, it's Kevin Owens, it's Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman is such a big part of this. I think people don't even realize how much of this was probably his idea. If you take a look at the last 3 weeks, and the promos that Paul did with Sami, the
promos that Paul did with Cody, the promos that Paul did with Cody again this last week, and everything else like that. He's kind of driving that storyline into slightly different directions because the controversy here being that Sami is so popular and so over, to use wrestling terms, that they thought he might have or should have won the championship at Elimination Chamber. But we're getting into the biggest show of the year, WrestleMania coming up. And the idea is you have a title change just before your biggest show of the year. Or you wait for that show to have the title change. And then Cody is supposed to be coming in. And then there were rumors that The Rock might be coming in to struggle a little bit with Roman about the true tribal chief or whatever all this stuff. So
Cody's storyline too is redemption, right?
Absolutely.
So he, got hurt, tore his pectoral muscle, not in the match, but just
working out,
and it happens. It happens, right? So, and he's back, and now this story arc is going on with Cody Rhodes. How his father Dusty never won the major championship in WWE. His brother was Intercontinental champion. Cody was Intercontinental champion. I think he was U.S. champion.
Yeah, he's the one that brought back the white belt.
Right, brought back the white belt, So, his arc now is all the way through WrestleMania. And usually at WrestleMania, the baby face always comes out on top. So we'll see what happens. And I think Sami's story is now going to evolve with Kevin Owens. And we could see him and Kevin Owens patching things up, getting back together as best friends.
Well,
best friends in real life.
And they came up in the business together from Montreal. Yeah.
Right. When they wrestled here at a show at the Pan Am Center years ago, Sami was a babyface. Kevin Owens is a heel. And they pulled up in the same rental car together.
Yeah.
In the back. So Sami got out, got his bags, and went in. Kevin Owens tried to hide in the car. and wait a little bit for him to get out and go in. Because, the baby faces and the heels can't be buddies.
You got to keep it real. You got to keep that.
The kayfabe.
Once again, the kayfabe. Try not to use too many wrestling terms, but you got to keep kayfabe alive. The bad
I'll
guys
talk
and
about
the guys
wrestling
will
for
get it.
hours. I will.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing here, and I'm going to throw this at you because every once in a while I'll get to talk wrestling with somebody, but when you talk wrestling with somebody that loves it and have that, I have a little bit of fun. So we're going to probably talk about this a little bit more here. But I'm going to throw this at you right now because if you watched last night's promo with Sammy and Kevin,
right?
Kevin said, I'm not here to help you,
right?
And he ended with, "Why don't you ask your buddy Jay?" Because Jay walked out,
right,
on the bloodline,
right.
And so now I almost feel this story shifting to main event Jey Uso.
Maybe.
And maybe it in my opinion, Roman Reigns might lose the titles at WrestleMania. I think that's kind of a given, considering Cody's story arc, right?
Right.
But I think the one to take down and maybe dismantle the bloodline should be Jey Uso because he was the one that was fighting Roman in the first place. He did not want to do that.
Yeah, he didn't want to.
And I think that shift, that shift to Jey Uso, and there's going to be a compelling little twist.
That could be it as well. It could be if they don't go with Kevin Owens and Sammy, then maybe they go with Sammy and Jay against Jimmy and Solo.
Which would be a good.
That could be a possibility as well, and that would be a great match.
Yeah. Absolutely, and then everybody will be feeling all oozy, and it'll all be fine right there. It's one of the funniest things ever. Just look up Sami Zayn and Uzi. You'll find a clip right there, and you see everybody break up, except for some reason they didn't get the camera on Solo, but everybody lost it at that point in time.
Yeah, they almost broke kayfabe.
Oh, I think they did break, but there's a few of these things.
Right. Laughing when they shouldn't be laughing.
Yeah,
right.
It's the funniest thing. If you watch SNL, you see people break up on skits all the time.
Yeah.
When they do that on a live show with wrestling, it's even funnier when sometimes you just catch somebody off guard like that. Sammy's great at doing that. He does some great things that way.
He's really shined.
He has. You know what? Really, but I think he's always been very good. He and Kevin Owens made his main roster debut and beat John Cena.
Right.
And Sami Zayn made his debut against John Cena.
Right.
Unfortunately, I think he hurt his. Did he get a dislocated shoulder?
Yeah, he got a dislocated shoulder.
Yes, dislocated shoulder. So he kind of had to be put on the back burner a little bit, even right after his debut. But if you really want to watch some good stuff between those two, go back to their NXT days and the battle they had right there. Those are some really good things. And once again, I know we've wrestling geeked out maybe just a little bit right here, but it still counts as sports. And I'm going to hold everybody to that. I keep saying one of these days we should do a straight wrestling sports or wrestling podcast between probably me, love to have you in there, our old friend Ernesto, and Joey.
Yeah, you'd have to have Joey.
Joey, he'll come in to me in the morning going, "Did you see that?"
Yeah.
And then other mornings I'll come in and go, "Did you see that?"
Mm-hmm.
I walked in on the big show one day, and Joey was there, and Jackie was there. And I'm going like, "Did you see that last night? A Wild Bailey appeared." And Jackie, who is completely wrestling ignorant, looks up at me and goes, "What's a Bailey?" And I said, "Look it up on the internet."
Hello, ding dong.
Hello, yeah, there you go. Hello.
That's who Bailey is.
That's who Bailey is. Always one of my favorite characters in NXT.
Yeah.
And it's funny that little girl that used to be in the front row at NXT. And NXT is another one of the shows that used to just play on the WWE network, and that's where a lot of these wrestlers came up. They trained, they learned how to deal with it. Yeah, exactly. Kind of a minor league.
The farm system.
Yeah. There you go. That's a much better way of saying it. One of the girls that was in the front row with Bailey when she was a little girl, and they would always come over and give her hugs, and give her headbands and stuff like that.
Now she's there.
And now she was actually doing some wrestling reporting news on YouTube channel, and now I think that she was old enough that she went off to train. Yeah. So we might be seeing that next generation that's going to be coming up on there. But I've always said this in the past, that wrestling is the male soap opera, because you've got bad acting, maybe in the Attitude Era you had a little bit too much sex, and then just stories, and
athletics, stories. It's all good.
Yeah, it's the same thing as anybody who's watching the soap operas right there. You've got all of those elements mixed in, Just every now and then somebody gets dropped on their head. Safely.
Accidentally.
Safely.
Yeah.
Sometimes accidentally.
Accidents happen. It's all right.
Also, speaking of like esports thing, nice to see Big E playing games.
Oh, yeah.
Up, down, down, and that he was healthy. He had a neck injury. It was
Yeah.
very scary looking, and I don't know if he'll make an in-ring comeback, but it's nice to see that he's
It's good to see that he's alive and well
and moving around and playing.
If he can't wrestle again, that's okay. There's more important things.
Absolutely.
You can't risk. If you have a neck injury, you can't mess around.
Yeah. But it is amazing how much sports medicine has improved to the fact that some of these injuries, some people have come back from, and it is just amazing. But of course, you always want to be on the safe side because, like Ed said, there's a whole lot of it.
Kurt Angle won the Olympic medal with a broken freaking neck.
With a broken, yeah. And he's not ashamed to tell you that every time.
He's not ashamed to tell you.
And then what we've had also comebacks, Edge, we had to retire.
Right.
10 years later, his neck.
Stone Cold.
Yeah, Stone Cold came back. Wrestled a match last year. WrestleMania, kind of.
Yeah.
And then we've also had people come back like Ryan Daniels. Daniel Bryan.
Daniel Bryan, concussion,
Yeah, concussion right there. Paige.
Yep.
Soraya.
Yeah, she had a neck injury as well.
It was a neck injury. It was a neck injury. She had some surgery. She got kicked in the back, and then it did something to her neck when she was paralyzed in ring. And it was, if you ever, the videos were really, really scary. But she went to many doctors, all this rehabilitations, I think a couple of surgeries or anything else like that, but they cleared her. In fact, I think she is wrestling a match this Wednesday. If I'm not mistaken, on AEW, I think she's going up against Sky Blue. But, so she came back, and it's amazing to see all these people kind of come back right here, and the storylines, and the fact that all of these independent wrestling leagues all over the place are doing really well. And there's people, you don't necessarily have to make it to the big leagues to be successful and make money out there. Yeah. And I don't know, maybe, do we need a little bit more local wrestling here?
Well, the athletic commission kind of
messed that one up.
Puts a damper on things, that I don't want to get into that right now.
Yeah, well, we don't have to get into all that.
But it's a little harder in New Mexico than, let's say, Texas.
Yeah, because I recall that when they do come down to visit, all of the athletes have to be checked out. They have to have
they have to be licensed.
Yeah.
I have old licenses in my bag. That through New Mexico, you have to be licensed. Everybody's got to be licensed. You got to go through a physical. You got to be checked out, which is fine. Just make sure everybody's okay. But there's all kinds of fees.
Yeah,
it makes it a little harder.
It's in general, I guess that really affects what you do when you're trying to bring in some of the events because some of those, like I would imagine some of the boxing events or something else like that, all of that.
Yeah, any pro fighting that we have in Las Cruces, whether it be cage fighting, if it's professional,
you
have to go
not the amateurs,
not the amateurs. The amateurs, you don't have to go through the athletic commission. Somebody who would be good for you to have on, and I'll give you his number, is Larry Lewick.
Okay.
I don't know if you ever met Larry.
Name sounds familiar.
He is a commissioner with the New Mexico Athletic Commission now. We haven't had somebody from Las Cruces to sit on the board in a long time. And he'd be a great guest for you to have on, talk about boxing, MMA in New Mexico. We're trying to, I'm working with a couple of promoters right now. There's one in Albuquerque. We're trying to get him to come down. This is besides the bare knuckle stuff.
Yeah.
With boxing.
Okay.
And then there's a group out of Hobbs that I've had down recently for a site inspection. We were looking at the convention center to see if it would work for him. But he does boxing and MMA, so professional. So we're looking at that right now too.
Okay.
That'll be an option for us, hopefully within this calendar year of 2023, to have some more boxing and MMA shows.
Yeah, because
at the convention center, wherever we can fit it.
Yeah, once again, all those boxing events, and those are the events that are definitely going to be having to go through the commission.
Right.
And it's probably one of the reasons we probably haven't had as many as we could have.
Yeah. Usually, a lot of boxing and MMA shows happen on tribal land. Because Ruidosos had some shows recently, and Albuquerque has some shows. And if you go to the tribal land, the athletic commission doesn't have any jurisdiction there. But the tribal land, they have their own,
they have their own rules,
commission and their own rules and all that stuff. Yeah.
What if there aren't any nearby? Oh, should we build something?
Right.
Yeah, that's always a possibility. But yeah, that is awesome, and that is a lot of good stuff going to be coming into town. And of course,
We're trying our best, Gino.
Yeah. Thanks for coming down and letting us know. Like I said, I think we need to have you in a little bit more often.
Anytime.
Go ahead and let us know when we have some big events that are coming up. And like you said, we've got a big esports event coming up on March the 4th. That's going to be one of the ones that's coming up real quick.
That's going to be a whole lot of fun. It'll be at the Corbett Center on campus.
Oh, yeah, that's going to be so much fun. And I hate to say it, but it would give me those vibes of being in the arcade back when I was a kid, where you're just standing back and you're watching this couple of people play, and you're really getting into that. That to me is what kind of like being a spectator for those esports games. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, you're too young. But if you do know what I'm talking about, it's that whole kind of vibe of doing that. Because sometimes it's as much fun to watch these players and watch.
You're going to be talking some more esports here in just a few moments.
Oh, am I?
I think so. Right? You get coach.
You want to come in real quick?
Coach is going to come on and talk some esports.
Yeah, go ahead. Come on. Let's bring him in. We'll bring him in for the last few minutes.
Switch it around. Yeah.
Okay. And I think we had Chef come out with some great treats over there, but I don't know. I think they've got some gumbo over there for Mardi Gras, and they got everything else that might be up there if you want to check that out. And let us know how it tastes. And go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Rolando Villalobos. I am a Spanish teacher at Centennial High School, and I do esports.
You do esports?
Yes, and I am also the chess coach.
Okay, so can I just call you Coach?
Sure.
All right. Coach, let's get into this real quick. If I'd have known that we were going to get you on real quick, I would have brought you on a little bit earlier, because I am very curious as to what is esports, and I mean, how did that come about to getting into the schools here?
Right. Okay. So esports is a competition that you play online. With the NMAA, they give us games to play. We have Rocket League. It's 3 versus 3.
Okay.
And we have League of Legends. It's 5 versus 5. We have Smash Bros. That one's 3v3, even though it's a 1v1, but we're in teams of 3.
Okay.
Yes, and
no Super Smash Bros. In there, huh?
That's Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, and then we have Mario Kart. Mario Kart 8 is actually another one.
That's awesome.
Yes, that one's a 4 versus 4, and they added Splatoon 3.
Okay.
It's like, I guess, a shooting game.
Well, it's an interesting. I don't know if you'd call it a shooting game,
That's
a territory game, because you have to shoot your color and get the most territory, I guess, out of that right there.
Yes.
So I'm letting those, because I have played, video games from the time my dad bought the first Pong machine in like the late 70s.
Yeah.
And between me and all of my brothers, we probably owned every gaming system that we have out there. Right now, every Sunday, in fact, I train. No, I don't train. Every Sunday, I get together with my squad, which is basically me, my son, his little brother, and his little brother's dad. We all get along, and we all train, and we've got a little 4-man squad that we do first-person shooter stuff. Halo 5 is something that we like to play a lot.
Nice.
And then we'll be doing, I think, the new Warfare 2024. Is that out? 2040? I can't remember. The new Modern Warfare is out there. Or not the new one. I think one of the latest ones that was out there. And then we even do some Warhammer and some other stuff like that. So that's it. Yeah. So I'm a video game geek. I do love those. And I keep thinking to myself, even at the age of 51, do I still have some eligibility left? But so what are these tournaments like? What is involved with getting like an esports tournament going?
Right. We're in the middle of a season. The school provided everything for us.
Really? That's awesome.
We got our PCs, Nintendo Switches. We connect online with the other coaches, so we don't have to travel. We just connect. You just
play online, so there's no travel, there's no hotel, there's no buses, none of that stuff, right?
Maybe for when we get to state.
Yeah. Because everybody would like to be in the one place right there. Yeah.
Yes.
And so all you got to do is got a really good internet connection.
We use the schools.
Yeah, and so that'll be good right there. That is awesome, because there's something in my mind that I'm picturing as these kids are growing up. and they're playing on their Switch or they're playing games on their computer, and they have to tell their parents that they're training for a tournament.
Yes.
And it's got to be one of the weirdest conversations in 2023 that there is, right?
Yeah.
Because I can only imagine that. And like I said, I train every Sunday. And I did that partly because, as most everybody knows, I had a stroke in 2018. Okay. One of the residual effects is that my eyes aren't quite seeing quite the same thing anymore. But a friend of mine, actually my younger brother who had a stroke a few years before, told me that one of the best things to do is play video games because your hand-eye coordination and particularly first-person shooters try and get your eyes working the way that they would. So that's why every week on Sundays we would get together and we would play. And I'm an old school Halo fan from back in the day.
Yes,
and so yeah, exactly. And every once in a while I'll just run through the whole Master Chief collection just for fun. Take me a couple weeks to play it because I'm a responsible adult and I work. Can't just sit there in my gaming chair for 24 hours a day playing, which would be nice if I could. But run through those and then just have a whole bunch of fun with my friends online and just do that because believe it or not, esports, when you're talking to high schools, that can lead to college scholarships because they do college teams. I mean, Ed was just talking about some of the tournament that's going to be coming up in the fourth.
I think NMSU actually picked up someone from Morgan Mountain High for Rocket League.
Wow.
Yeah, they were on the Sun News last year.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, he's an excellent player. And I think he's playing for them right now.
That's cool. That's so you can go check him out on March 4th.
Yes,
playing right there. That'll be part of the team right there. Yeah. But it even leads to professional e-leagues that are out there. You may see some of those on ESPN or some of the sports shows every once in a while. Or
Dota 2, I think, was one of the first ones.
Yeah, that's really cool. And even professionally, when you see a lot of these gamers or streamers that are online that can make a lot of money from playing video games. Now, like I said, I'm a video game person, and maybe as an esports coach, you can help me understand something. Playing games for many years, started off with Pong. You just had the little bar and the little square ball going back and forth, right? And then you moved up into your generations of teams. You had your Atari 2600, 5200. You've got your NES, Super NES, Genesis, stuff like that. Moving all the way up now, we're into our PS5s and our Xbox Series X and S, right? And then there's some of the other machines that are out there going to do that. We've taken the incredible capacity of our computers to get almost lifelike generated graphics on there. What the heck is going on with Minecraft that you have all these awesome graphics and Minecraft is a game you go over, you dig stuff, you build stuff, and like, in 16-bit, I won't even say 16, but like 8-bit graphics, and everybody loves that game, and maybe I'm just too old for it, but I don't get it.
Okay.
What is with that game?
You know what?
Yeah.
I had a friend who knew about that game before it was popular. Yeah, he showed me it. He downloaded it somehow on a USB. I put it on my laptop, and I was like, "What is this? This looks ridiculous." But there's something soothing about it, like collecting material. I haven't played it recently. Like to me, the horses are new to me still.
Okay.
So I'm an old school, old.
Yeah. Okay.
And there was just something soothing about it, just digging, and then this music, piano song comes up, and
I believe that maybe there's some. I don't know. I mean, maybe there's some subliminal satanic messages. I know. I'm just kidding about that. But yeah, because my son's little brother, when he was in high school, maybe mid school.
Yeah.
Now it had to be high school because it wasn't that long. That wasn't that long ago. But he had downloaded it onto my Xbox because I let him play on it, and he was playing it. And I'm going like, he goes, well, yeah, let's play together. I said, okay, let's play together. And then all of a sudden, I'm just like, okay, well, what's the point? He goes, well, you dig for stuff.
It's a survival game too,
And I'm going like, well, what happens when I dig for stuff and I find it? Well, then you build stuff. And I'm like, okay, so do we fight? Do we shoot anything? What's the point of the game?
I played it before. There was a story mode. I didn't even know there was a story. There's a dragon you beat.
Yeah.
I played it before that. You're just chilling.
I'm gonna take your word for it,
yeah.
Because
make a house on the ocean.
Yeah.
Make a house underground.
I just don't get it. I just don't get it myself. And I know it's me. But I don't get it.
I
And
first played it in 8th grade or 9th grade. I was in
that was a
9th
long time ago. It came out a long time ago.
Oh yeah, 2009. Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was. I think our food is getting cold over there.
No.
Max was supposed to come over and talk about it and stuff like that, but
Is he the
they got some great specials here tonight for Mardi Gras. Don't forget, it is Fat Tuesday. As I discovered, Mardi means Tuesday and Gras means fat in French, so Mardi Gras is Fat Tuesday. That's why it's called Fat Tuesday. So they've got some gumbo, they've got some jambalaya, they got some Cajun treats right here. If you're looking to maybe just grab a nice little dinner here at the Broken Spoke, so you can come out and get that done. But yeah, I don't know, just the whole Minecraft thing. So like I said, the whole idea for me is that we get graphics better and more lifelike. I have played games. I think I was in one of the Destiny DLCs where I'm walking on this bridge and some water or something else that's down there, and I got weak in the knees because I'm afraid of heights, and it got almost that realistic where it made me get a little vertigo. So graphics wise that way, and then Minecraft. I just I don't know. But what's like some of the? Well, basically, I'll ask you this: how's your team doing right now? If you're right in the middle of your season, how are you guys playing?
Our Rocket League team is doing really well. They only lost one game. I think it was against an Albuquerque school. These kids are really good. Let's see, Smash Bros. Our varsity team's doing really good. Our JV team is still working on it. Yeah. And
you got to train a little more, get a few more hours in.
League of Legends, we're still working on that too. Yeah,
I'm gonna hard. Yeah, well, it's a strategy. You have to if you're playing 5-on-5, which is League of Legends.
You need a lot of communication.
Yeah, it's a lot of communication. You got to make sure you got your healers ready, everything like that. You got to have a good strategy player there. Yeah. You got to make sure that you've got those. Get your tanks up.
There's some kids that don't know how to 1v1 yet.
No.
Or they don't know when to retreat. And I tell them to retreat, and they don't, and then they.
There's always that one guy on the team. Usually, he picks up that healer role that just likes to go out in front and die, and then everybody else. That's an old gamer joke for those that like to play those types of games.
Yeah, but it's a hard game. You really have to coordinate.
That was another one we were playing. We were playing lots of Overwatch too.
Nice. We can't represent that as Centennial, but we do have a club team.
Do you?
Yeah. We're playing under Mountain Youth, under 19, something like that. Yeah, that game looks really hard too.
It's the same type of strategy type thing, except you're talking about
my kids were getting stuck in the base where they spawn. They couldn't get out.
There's a timer on there, and then once the doors open up, that's when you get out. But
the team was spawn camping them.
Oh,
yeah.
They were watching it out. Okay, I see what you're talking about.
So, yeah,
they couldn't make a move unless they got there.
I felt so bad for them. I was like, wow, who are these other kids?
That's when you got to get your tanks out there, maybe some shields out there too. You get your team out and have them move around a bit. But yeah. Okay, now I geeked out about wrestling. Now we're geeking about esports, but that's pretty cool. And do you guys have anything big coming up here, or
just the invitation?
Just the invitation on the 4th, yeah.
Yeah. No, I've been trying to look for some local stuff so my kids can try to compete in that. There's a Las Cruces Smash crew.
Okay.
I think. I'm in touch with one of the guys, Lorenzo Belmontes, I believe is his name.
Well, yeah, I think we could probably, we need to get some recreational leagues maybe here in Las Cruces. Maybe there's a few places,
we just need
probably Zia Comics or somebody else like that might be able to help you out with that. Maybe we'll work on that. I'll see what I can do for you.
Yeah, that one's just sprouting. But it's gonna get big.
Cool, awesome. But thanks for coming in like that. I'm really curious about that on esports right there. It's a new thing that is there, and it's an official sport.
Yes.
You've got your teams, you've got your JV, you've got your varsity, you've got the NMSU teams. So we've got high school, college teams. They can lead to professional game playing. Yes, the actual playing of video games can be a professional sport. You can earn money at it, and all you got to do is just make sure that your thumbs are working and everything else right there. Got to train your thumbs a little bit. That's when you see these guys walking around with big hands. No, I'm just kidding. No, it's not like that. But it's a lot of fun, and I'm really glad to see that something like that is kind of coming around. It gives a lot of opportunities for some kids as well. So that tournament is going to be March 4th, and that's going to be at the Colgate Center. So we look forward. I'm looking forward. I'm going to stop by and see if I can catch your team out, see how they're doing it there.
Yeah.
Awesome. So thanks for stopping by, and of course, thanks for tuning in right here for Mesilla Valley News Sports Podcast. As you know, every week we are right here on the patio at the Amador Live Eatery and Entertainment District, right outside of the Broken Spoke. You can see the sign up above us, and you can stop by here every Tuesday at 6 o'clock and join us. So enjoy your week. Have some happy sporting, and I'll see you next Tuesday right here for Mesilla Valley News Sports.